The corruption of the Biden family is notorious, and I've talked about it a number of times now on the podcast. What's going on with the House is a inquiry that Republicans, being sticklers, is trying to pin everything down and leave Joe Biden and Hunter Biden very little room to wriggle their way out. Democrats are notorious for being able to get away, stay one step ahead of the posse, always come up with plausible explanations or implausible explanations, but nevertheless, the media acts like they're unbelievably plausible. And so this is what we're dealing with. Well, the latest information comes out of an IRS. Well, there are two IRS whistleblowers. The one who has been named is a guy named Gary Shapley. And it turns out that this guy is highly credible, is actually a Democrat, although not very active in politics, someone who is doing his job. And what this guy has revealed is a bombshell text, an email that was sent by Hunter Biden to a guy named Henry Zhao, Z-H-A-O, who's the CEO of Harvest Fund Management, which is essentially a financial operation in China. These are Hunter Biden's Chinese business partners. And what's interesting about this message is that it directly references Joe Biden. So I'm going to read it. In fact, I saw that Trump, who recently spoke in Michigan, was reading in his just kind of unique Trumpian way, reading the text. But here we go. I'm sitting here with my father. This is Hunter Biden talking. And we would like to understand why the commitment, i.e. financial commitment, made has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand, and now means tonight. And Z, if I get a call, Z meaning Zhao, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me, his dad, Joe Biden, and every person he knows, Joe Biden's willing to use all his influence, and my ability to forever hold a grudge that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. So let's think back to Joe Biden. I have no knowledge. I have no involvement in my son's business dealings. That is quite clearly untrue. Now, Hunter Biden could have been merely boasting that my father is in the room. He could have been bluffing. But Republican Representative Claudia Tenney doesn't think so. She says it is, in fact, highly plausible that Joe Biden was in the room. Why? I'm now quoting from her. Photos from Hunter Biden's laptop place the president's son at the Biden family's Wilmington, Delaware home on the same day the WhatsApp message was sent, July 30th, 2017. In other words, Joe Biden and Hunter Biden were together under the same roof. So when Hunter Biden says, my father is sitting right here, his father was in fact in the house and was most likely also in the room. Now, the remarkable thing is that right after this text was sent, $5.1 million moves from Chinese accounts into the Biden LLC. And so not only was there a demand for the money, but the money was then actually paid. And then $1 million was quickly transferred into Hunter Biden's own LLC. So the money is not only moving into America, into the Biden LLCs, but it's now moving into the Biden family accounts. Now, here's Christopher Clark, an attorney representing Hunter Biden. He goes, quote, it is dangerously misleading to make any conclusions or inferences based on this document. So you can see here that he's trying to protect, well, it turns out not so much Hunter Biden. He's trying to protect Joe Biden because this is what he says next. Any verifiable words or actions of my client in the midst of a horrible addiction, the addiction. He just said that because he's this is not a reflection of an addiction. This is a reflection of somebody who's trying to collect on a bill, on an invoice, on money due or money promised. But he goes, any verifiable words or actions of my client in the midst of a horrible addiction are solely his own and have no connection to anyone in his family. So quite clearly what's happening here is Hunter Biden's attorney is trying to protect Joe Biden, basically saying my client is speaking only for himself. It doesn't necessarily mean Joe Biden was in the room. Now, I saw a clip on social media. This is Kevin McCarthy. He was being interviewed. And I think he realizes that this is now going into impeachment territory. I don't think he's fully sold on impeachment for Joe Biden, but he does seem to be sold on impeachment for Merrick Garland. Why? Because Merrick Garland is the guy who's been obstructing this whole process. And when we come back in the next segment, I'll talk about Merrick Garland and the way he's been obstructing it and the way in which the IRS whistleblower is hitting back at Merrick Garland's apparent falsehood.